afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, your very own best source of companies to entertainment. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma. In the west, we got Talisman, fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the elite 1st SS Panzerdivision Leibstandarte versus in the east we got Ihitto fighting for the Soviet Union, socialism, the socialist dream. Rolling out here with the 5th Guards Mechanized Corps with Armored Assault versus elite Armoured. So two very armor-oriented doctrines, of course, in different ways. Still, this will be very interesting to watch. We got the double engineer start with Special Rifle Command here for Ihitto. Talisman into double Fultz Grenadiers. So we'll have to see where this goes. I imagine that it's going to be a 2-2-1. Most players tend to go for elite armor, do tend to be very fond of using the 2-2-1. I like to punch HP wagon. Strafnicki slowly around there to the front line for Ihitto. In the meanwhile, Talisman rapidly moving ahead, securing the compartment here. Tends to be a very necessary move for the Western player, since otherwise they can occupy the house in this way, threaten these two places. And it's really difficult to deal with for a Western player due to the way the house is sort of situated. So it tends to be a very common move, and necessary move in fact, for the Western player to rush this particular area to ensure the opponent doesn't. Sturmpioneers and Engineers first engagement. The Engineers get off a series of lucky shots in negative cover, killing the first Sturmpioneer. So first blood goes to Ihitto. Not good there for Talisman, obviously. In the south we got another Volkswagen squad advancing this, and no players actually heading for the centre there. That tends to be a sort of intermediate level that's going for, but instead both players sort of sneaking more towards the edges of the map where actually the resources are. Whereas in the centre, that's on the centre victory point, of course, cut-off points are situated along that axis as well. Still, M3 on the way there for Ihitto. Talisman taking up reasonably fast tech, possibly to help push out a 2-2-1 scout car faster here versus the Bolsheviks. Fultz sitting out there. First SS Panzer Division was one of the first 3 SS divisions raised, with the late ones of course being raised there. It was also sort of the first of Hitler's many bodyguard units that would be militarized in one way or the other. It sort of kept happening, so little fun note there as well. Scout car there filled with penal troopers. Fultz moving in there, catching the engineers out in the open. In the south, it could be seeing some skirmishing soon happening there, but he's going to go straight for the jugular here, straight for Talisman's throat with his scout car, filled to the brim with angry Soviets with guns. And right here, the Sturmpioneer is right. I mean, he's got no immediate count, and there we go. Truck is out, and he immediately calls in the 2-2-1 armored scout car there to possibly deal with the infantry. One, of course, put some pressure on Ihitto's infantry. It's an interesting counter there. Of course, it is a counter with more utility and a bit more speed, so in some ways it can work out. And of course, late game, it can be used to secure Talisman more resources in terms of fuel. So it's, a very flexible tool there for any Oberkommando player if they do end up going for elite armored doctrine. Heading for the southern fuel point here as well, we can see that Talisman's keeping up pressure, harassment, and also in this case saving the other troop by forcing the scout car to rush down here to prevent harassment. So bit of a double clever move there by Talisman. There we go, retreating. Calf Pond being hit, but with the centre victory point and the sort of route here secured, it doesn't actually cut it off. So there you go. 2-2-1 scout car there for Talisman. Folks there being routed by the M3A1. Poor Ludwig did not make it. So 2-2-1 moving up here. We'll go straight for the scout car. We'll go for the calf point. What will Talisman do here versus his opponent? And we're going to be seeing the battle group headquarters up here for Talisman. And the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. More punitions on the way there for Ihitto. And there you go. 2-2-1. Routes here the Engineers. Quickly pushing right there with its MG there on top. Ihitto is going to match out as he can. Now he's got a bit more initiative, but of course the 2-2-1 is likely going to be used to try and regain initiative here against the Russians. Engineer scout car there in the north. Going to pop the flamethrower and use a nice tactical combo there, very nasty. Also very popular, and also slightly seeing usage now with the Wehrmacht's 250 half-deck being a bit more usage. You'll see them do that. So we'll have to see how that works out. In the south, Penals are about to get hit by the 2-2-1, backed up by several Fultz Grenadiers here. Battle Group headquarters almost done for Talisman and the German army. And getting the upgrade here to the 2-2-3 by adding in the radio set and bet frame antenna, which is sort of the early war radio set there for the Germans. Well, antenna set later on they'd have a sort of smaller Stern or star antenna. Little fun fact there. Points that are being secured here. 2-2-3. 1, soon to be 223 on the watch. In the south, we got the Penals there waiting about. Might be waiting here for something to happen, then make the counterattack. But there you go. Engaging here, the Penals out in the open. We got the upgrade up, 223 ready. Up north, a lone squad that's fighting off against all this. Is going to panther fast. A bit risky here, but still gets damage done on the M3A1. Sturmfuni arriving, and we got the scout car there for northwards. Of course, we got Penal troopers blocking away. There you go, getting upgraded into tank rifle. Does he get too close to the connected pop a satchel charge on it? Or does he just not care? All the way, there we go. In this case, he doesn't have the munitions for it, but there's always that little risk there. Would have been a great bait for Ihitto if he had pulled it off, but in this case, didn't have it, so didn't work out. All the way, scout car almost scouted the other scout car, but that scout car almost got blown up as well. So very much of a close shave for both. But even as this is happening, even as Ihitto's being hit, the Talisman stalling him and then making a bigger push for the south, more aggressively with a bit more speed behind it. So that's nice work there. Troops reinforcing. Gonna need some healing. Got medics up there as well for Talisman. We got the Ihitto's anti-tank troops making a move for the curve point. Reinhardt Gunnar there causing the Penals a bit of trouble. They can't use cover now, or well, they can, but they're gonna likely get burned badly. 223, that's going to need some repairs. Oh, he's just going to, meanwhile, while he's waiting for the repairs, just set it up there so he can actually gain some extra resources from the point he's being cut off. I'd say it's a really clever play there by Talisman. That is some really clever play. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Big time. Fortunately, gaining the Penal troopers. That should be engaged, and I think Talisman wins. Plus, of course, it opens up the fuel supply in the south for him. I mean, he's actually going to gain a fuel lead over his opponent, partly thanks to the fuel point there, but also thanks to the 223 just getting a bit extra there, plus extra munitions. So, double win there for Talisman, even in the face of troubles. Scout car's good to go again here for Ihitto. Then we'll have to see how Talisman reacts to that. We got an MG34 on the way, indicating he's not too worried about the scout car. Otherwise, obviously, we would not be going for an MG34 here, but rather be going for the MG34. Not MG34, I can't never down. Silly Dane, silly Dane. Our machine gun on the way to help continue with the infantry decided versus heavy Penal trooper builds. A machine gun's going to be very good. The other option would have been a flak half track, but obviously if Talisman intends to invoke some of the bigger stuff of elite armored faster, he's obviously not going to go for the flak half track. He's going to run the 223, sort of stall and tide things over, as he then pushes for the bigger stuff, like the tanks. Maybe some mobiles around. But there you go. M3A1 was to the 223. Gain some damage in there, slowly approaching infantry 1. Which of course also gives him actually to the defensive smoke upgrade. Or ability, not so much of an upgrade, eh? But there you go, Veterans 1 gained half health on the scout car, doing quite a bit of damage there with the MG there on top of the 223. Note there's also an unofficial upgrade to the 221/222 where they actually used a large anti-tank rifle. Or what could call a light anti-tank gun, very light one, sort of that way upgrade its firepower versus a tank. But it could also be used as infantry since that gun also had access to fragmentation shells. Back here, troops in reinforcing, grabbing the point here, heading for the northern point. We got another MG34 there for Talisman, focusing further on keeping Ihitto's infantry's heads down. We got mines down there, very good. Fixing up the scout car. Could maybe lay down some more mines. He's could also be spending his manpower a bit more, but I imagine he wants to take up and spend the manpower elsewhere. Maybe a fuel cache could also be an idea. And there you go again. 223 setting up and getting repaired. In this case, he's probably not going to move it since it's on the fuel point. Either way, Talisman is clearly... also got a chemical, but he's clearly looking to, try and take up as fast as possible. Using the 223 to that way assist in getting the whole armoured element of the doctrine going. So... clever play there, clever play. Certainly a man who understands what elite armor now is about. He actually got a way to, push out the tanks faster. Moving towards the southern point here, lots of mines, some more. Not finished though, not finished. But there you go, we got the 223 and all moving in. He had the tank rifles in bay, obviously trying to deal with a 223. He quickly packed it up again though. Would have figured he'd keep it about there for longer, but Talisman clearly values the mobility of the 223 more than the extra fuel. At least occasionally more than mobility in the fuel. Getting some good damage here and there, closing in Veteran 2 already. Very good, very good. Some nice aggressive 223 play, but at the same time not reckless. Like heading out, and we got our hitter there with tech. T-70 light tank on the way. straight into the Volksgundies. Need to pants fast that need to run, but sadly not fast enough and got horribly murdered. T-70 halfway down there for Ihitto. Replacing the infantry lost there in service of Deutschland, and there we go, truck out. Likely going to be a schwerpunted quarter to cover the fuel point and the cut-off point, though we could place it elsewhere. Push for the centre victory point here. Talisman that holds the line for the fatherland for the 1st SS. He's being shot to bits here out in the open, taking casualties. People's are going to tank off with Sturm Pioneers, so that range of Sturm Pioneers still loses off. They have a notable drop off in DPS after a certain point. So unlike Panzergrenadiers, they do perform rather poorly at mid to long ranges, whereas the Panzergrenadiers can sort of perform well depending on what they're fighting. For the Sturm Pioneers, it's pretty much against anything. Troops that suppressed, very good. Scout cutter still pulled back there. Veteranly 2, nice work. 11 kills and gains more line of sight and other bonuses. And once more again, as soon as he has to repair it, he just sets up secure resources, because if he's going to do nothing with it, he might as well gain resource from it. I really like that tactical attitude. It is definitely some high-level play already happening so fast with it. So that's some very nice adaptation there by Talisman. Very nice. Back here, troops healing enforcing Fort Talisman. Ihitto keeping up pressure. Meanwhile, flooding manpower. He could, consider fuel caches if he's so consistent. Flooding manpower, doesn't want to get more infantry, since that would help him, push up armor faster versus Talisman. So I do feel like that would be a really good idea here for Ihitto to consider versus Talisman. We got 2 machine guns. Bit, shall we say, passively being used there by Talisman. I do feel like he'd be using more actively here versus Ihitto to control the field more aggressively, and maybe even lock down the cut-off point with 1 machine gun. I think that worked out quite nicely for him. 100 now off again. We've got the scout coming in. He gets the T-70, though he could end up losing like Ken here to Ihitto. 2-3 not being repaired. Troops are healing and forcing. MD-34 routing as well. Here's the flamethrower scout code goes in. Shroud punted quarters is done. So that'll help out here. Ooh, right past the Shroud punted quarters line of fire. Ihitto decides not to pursue. And the south almost got the sun victory point. We got a nice lead there for Talisman over Ihitto. 2-3 continues to provide ample extra resources here for the German army. And there you go, sniper out for Ihitto. An interesting choice here, but with all the support weapons Talisman has, a sniper's not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. But as things are currently developing, it does look like Talisman's going to be getting hit tanks faster, partly due to reasonable good fuel harassment, but also I think that 2-3 has just been really helpful there. Ihitto, realising he might actually get hit by tanks, is actually back-taking now here. Going to go probably for a field gun to preempt any panzers there and sort of try and make it harder for Talisman to get too much shock value out of them. So that's a good reaction, I think, there by Ihitto. 2-3 they're going in there, going to try and finish off that M3A1, put an end to this motorised menace of the Marxists. And got it finally. There we go, Sicily on the way for Ihitto. Also way of spending his manpower. Talisman is not too far away here from a Panzer IV. His 2-3 slowly approaching Veteranly 3. That's really good for him. Really great handling over the 2-3 by Talisman. Great handling. Back here, troops in enforcing for Talisman. We got the Sis-3 almost down there for Ihitto. Could also force Talisman to have used his 2-3 much more carefully, since that Sis-3 can quickly end the 2-3. And the south point then being secured. Additional fun fact about the Waffen-SS, they actually had larger infantry complements than most regular Wehrmacht army divisions through most of the war until like late 1944. Basically, after the reorganization of 1942, where most infantry divisions, Panzer divisions and Panzer divisions each lost up an infantry battalion per regiment, the Waffen-SS were able to keep it that, and some of Rundstedt's, I would say, static divisions around the Atlantic Wall were able to keep those as well. But primarily the Waffen-SS were that way able to just have much larger divisions compared to the Wehrmacht. That probably what allowed them at times to perform greater feats compared to the Wehrmacht, because they just straight up have more troops to work with. And that's actually a big thing, but it's funny enough not something you actually see mentioned a lot in a lot of, documentaries and history books. Unless you're really looking for the nitty-gritty ones. So, fun note there. fun note there. And it's certainly not something, say, Gudern's going to mention either. Oh, Saddle charge off. Oh! Icy didn't realise it. Oh, bloody hell. That's a huge wipe there. Great for Ihitto. Very bad for Talisman. We got the Panther on the way that he's able to get it up reasonably fast here. Thanks to the 2-3, who's not bad again, being repaired and securing him additional resources. Good work there, meanwhile. Ihitto still some time off from any medium armor. I couldn't have creeping up here. Strafnicki moving about. Maxim coming up as well, so he just quickly bringing up more firepower there. Nice work. Fire. He's seeing the points being capped. He knows he can't see it, so he knows that's roughly where he's beginning to bombard in the area. Nice play down by Ihitto, thus forcing a rout. And go Panther 4. Likely we'll be seeing the Panther Commander. Yes, indeed. Gives access to artillery, just makes the Panther 4 more accurate, and so it has a few other benefits. So nice work there. 2-3, slowly approaching veteran 3. And we got the sniper out here. We got 6 kills for Ihitto. And the 5th Guards Mechanized Corps giving Talisman quite a bit of grief. Another history on the way there for Ihitto. At this rate, it's starting to look like he might try and stall here for the IS-2. A bit risky depending on what Talisman does. Particularly if he sort of gets much more aggressive with some elite infantry as well. That could leave Ihitto, even with double field guns and anti-tank pincher, was a bit out to dry against a well-handled Panzer IV. So we'll have to see how Talisman does with that. So far, 1 kill. Centre victory point in the hands of the Red Army. Ihitto tries to push his edge. Oh, decides. Oh, he does. Anyways, tries to slightly push ahead here. Forage ahead, getting an idea there of what Talisman's positions are. And heads southwards instead. Could actually hit the victory point there. And in fact, he is. Field gun behind the machine gun. There we got Orbital on the way to the Talisman. Very nice. But there you go. Fulton is flanking in. Machine gun on the way to turn about. Still, Fulton get past the arc of fire there. Very good. Now it's the Panther 4 or the field gun. We can actually push in with the Panther 4. Bit slow reaction there, but still does it. Not. I think he missed opportunity to rush the field gun. I mean, usually if you can sort of catch an anti-tank gun moving, it's a good chance to sort of rush with the Panther 4. In particular, if there's no infantry that can always keep your pans at any sort of grief there. So I would say a slightly missed opportunity there for Talisman. Getting rid of the field gun now would have been really helpful for Talisman and the German army. Got the orbital done out. The engineers being suppressed. Again, we have them moving about as well. Machine gun Panther opening up the church, the engineers holding out bravely with the minesweeper. Do not worry, Yuri. Believe in the minesweeper and we will survive this. You're just saying this because we'll get shot if we lose it, don't you? Maybe. Shot bounced, bit lucky there. Orbital on the moon. No light munitions there for the light machine gun as of yet. Still getting plenty of fuel though, thanks to that scout car there. He could theoretically push for another Panther 4 soon. That could give, I think, Talisman a really strong hand here versus Ihitto. And definitely punish him if he's just stalling for the IS-2. I mean, 2 Panther 4s handled correctly could really ruin Ihitto's day. Yep, shooting there. Was about to get overwhelmed by the penalty between the anti-tank rifles. There's just a lot of them. At which point, unless he had the light machine gun, he would have lost that engagement long term. Moving about here, heading southwards, very good. Though you can see that Ihitto's already anticipating such a move. And we got the light infantry gun for Talisman. Not built, cancelled for another truck. Timing wise, either Stukas or first, or he's planning a King Tiger and Light. There's going to be a King Tiger involved at some point, but I don't think it's the time quite yet for that. I do think another Panther 4 here just being handled well would be, but oh, Scheiße, he did it again. He wasn't paying attention and lost another unit to the satchel charge. That is horrible. That is great if I hit to. I mean, that's just 90 munitions and 500 manpower gone. That is a solid trade-off as far as Ihitto is concerned. I mean, you're not going to get a much better deal than that. But for Talisman, it's just horrid. I mean, he's losing infantry in droves. That is really going to hurt him in terms of map control and pressure here versus Ihitto. Ihitto in the meanwhile to bring up more Maxims, which is going to further put pressure on the remaining infantry Talisman has. But yeah, I mean, he can go for the Stukas first. In fact, not what he's planning here initially, but I feel like he needs more tanks first, since they can provide more direct, constant pressure, whereas the Stukas first, fires, and then it's like 2 to 3 minutes before one can fire again, meaning it has a lot of downtime. So while it has its uses, it's really only your opponent just really concentrates everything so hard you have no other way of really breaking it. Otherwise, I would argue you're probably better off in another tank and then pulling up some good attacks. But so far there, Talisman is aiming here for artillery or King Tiger. Another issue, of course, is it does mean he's going to be more vulnerable to the IS-2 once it hits, and that's also a bit of a worry there. I mean, the Stukas is going to do absolutely nothing against the IS-2. It also means, in that sense, a stall for the King Tiger becomes even more dangerous, since a Panzer IV and a Stukas and a Kettenwerfer is not going to stop an IS-2 very efficiently. So there's a certain unfortunate, problematic implications here for Talisman. Of course, the question is he anticipating an IS-2 from Ihitto? I mean, he's seeing a lot of field guns. He's seeing a lot there. He's not seeing any armor except that T-70. So for Talisman, the read on the situation should be that he's going to get hit by a really big Russian tank. We're not talking the T-35, because Relic never added that one. Because A, it'd be terrible, and B, it'd be terrible to balance because people would expect it to be useful. So obviously they had to make it useful, but it's still making a bastard to balance. Got the Panzer moving in here, field gun ready. Shoots and misses. For those who don't know, the T-34 was sort of 5, not 4. Jesus, saying that. Oh God, I'd get hit, mate. Probably get Putin to have me killed. But anyways, no, T-35, which was basically sort of a land ship of a tank with 5 turrets. And pretty poor armor because it was already pretty heavy due to its size, and if it added any sufficient amount of armor to it, it'd be, unmovable. But there you go. Attempted bunker grenade at the field gun, not bad. Also, the light machine also proving to be quite helpful here for Talisman. Devastating Ihitto's northern thrust. And there you go. We do have the Stukas out here, part of any Panzer Division's Pioneer Battalion, as a fun fact. But they were sort of part of the Pioneer Battalions, or Panzer Pioneers Battalions, more specifically Heavy Company, alongside some machine guns and other bits. They were basically meant to act as the artillery. The only other units that had them were the Panzer Brigades, where they sort of were part of the Mortar Company, or something like that. Just what they had for artillery alongside a few mortar half-tracks. So, a few fun facts there about the Stukas. Got that Panzer IV moving ahead there, go engaging. We've got a field on there ready, engaging the Panzer IV head on. Of course, he might be trying to use this to draw out the Ihitto stuff and then head it with the Stukas. There we go. Got some kills in there. 5 isn't bad, even took out a mine. But the question is, can he actually follow up on this? Otherwise, it's not going to, make a big impact. Like if it doesn't make a push there. And meanwhile, though, we got Ihitto pushing northwards there. In the south, folks were sneaking in to deal here with Ihitto's on the harassment, laying down mines. Very good work there. Makes it harder there for Talisman to, any gains. Really good harassment there for Ihitto. And he's, by the way, really close to the IS-2. Talisman's going for more Sturm Pioneers, probably help with repairs. Might also be planning Panzerschrecks, which wouldn't be half bad. But he's going to need something to help deal with that IS-2. Worst case scenario, he might be forced to go for the Jagdpanzer, which would be helpful. Ooh, what's if I gets the shed? Mein Gott, the shed, it won't hold. It has to hold. Never mind, let's get out of here before this thing collapses. Faster since the Italian economy under pressure. Heading for the southern point here, we got the sniper opening up there. 15 kills. Panzer IV's about to hit the mines if Talisman's not careful. He's got mines from troops backing up, which is good. But there you go, straight into the anti-tank sections of the penal troopers. So they are a bit close to it. There we go, Yuri, Sergei, and Dmitri blown to bits there. And at the same time, the worst thing happened here for Talisman is the IS-2 right to go straight for the Panzer IV now. Talisman could very well lose it, unless, of course, he pops emergency repairs and has time enough to get away, though. There we go. Does he go for it? Does he go for it? Yes, he does. We actually see someone using emergency repairs. Quickly fixing up the damage here, getting the Sturmpanzer to assist up, of course. Since the faster than his course fixed, of course, means he can get him moving again. So nice use of the ability there, and there we go. He can move again. The IS-2 will not be able to catch up. Had he not been fully armoured, probably not be able to save that Panzer. Well, he might have a chance, but it'll be much closer. Well, he's going for it. He's trying to engage the IS-2 head on with heat rounds. That is awfully optimistic by Talisman, and in true believe in NSIG obviously, but still pretty optimistic. And he realizes that's not going to work out and decides to pull back the Panther 4. Lost the orbital onto the penal troops there in heavy cover. That is not good. These are some very unfortunate casualties for Talisman. Great though for Ihitto, absolutely amazing. But now Talisman's force composition has left him in a rather precarious position. His opponent has managed to get an IS-2, he's not been able to prevent it. He's short on infantry by sort of slowly increasing amounts, and Ihitto's got a larger force, and he's also got most of the map, and he's soon also going to have a decisive victory point lead over Talisman. So, Talisman here needs to reorganize and re-strategize. Otherwise, he's likely going to be ground down by Ihitto, and already now things are getting difficult because Ihitto is more or less mining every square meter of the map, which of course is the exact right attitude to take, because it makes it a lot harder there for Talisman to make any fast gains if he has to look out constantly for mines, which is exactly what mines and part are there to do. They're there to slow you down just by naturally existing. That's the wonder of mines. You don't even have to hit them. As long as you know they're there, you're going to, usually be a lot more careful unless you're not either just don't care or you just, don't, know much about the game in a sense. Doing punch me and they're catching the penal troops up close. Very good work. Panther 4 moving in again, trying to take on the IS-2 head on with the Panther 4. It is really optimistic and ambitious there, but Talisman lost the Sturmpioneers. Talisman's infantry complement is getting shattered. I suppose it's living up to the true spirit of the Waffen-SS, which again, in many cases had high infantry casualties. Particularly the third SS were very much infamous for suffering high casualties due to their very reckless tactics, and that way generally never having a large complement of veterans. Cancel the Sturmpioneers, maybe Orbital Darden, or is he now just trying to stall for the King Tiger, which considering the overall situation is highly risky. He's not got a lot of force in the field. He's bleeding victory points like a stuck pig, or as the American announcer likes to say, stuffed pig. I still don't know why. I can't imagine, that guy who's supposed to read and get like, are you sure? Do you want me to say stuffed pig, or do you mean stuck pig? And then like, you know what this is about? It's about stuffed pigs here in Canada. I know. Just a guess. I just can't quite get over the American answer says stuffed pig. It's just so weird to me. Anyways, Panther 4, those doing its party for the fatherland. 13 kills, veteran 2. Certainly carrying here Talisman's forces on its mighty armoured frame. Shooting hit, we've got the field run behind there, definitely threatening the Panther 4. The Kholodny is not making much of an impact. It's drawing a lot of fire though here from Ihitto. In fact, it's drawing it so successfully it gets blown apart, and the Sturmpioneers are also drawing a lot of fire. In fact, almost getting wiped out as well, which would be rather disastrous for Talisman, since not only lose a repair unit, he just lose what little infantry is left, and Talisman's already barely holding on here. But Talisman is very much focused on the King Tiger. He is pinning all of his hopes to the Tiger 2 to lead him out of this. Like a prophet of Kruppstahl, it will lead him to salvation, to victory. If it gets here on time, that is. Meanwhile, it's receiving repairs. That was not a good engagement there for Talisman in the slightest. He's very close to the King Tiger. The 2-3 certainly is helping out here. 15 kills, close virtually free. Lots of fuel being secured. Roughly a bit under a minute there, half a minute to go, and then you can call in the mighty Königstiger, the Tiger 2. But can it pull him out of this mess he's managed to find himself in? That's going to be the big magical question here. Can it deliver him from socialism, from Stalin? Took his firing here. Oh! Close one, they almost annihilated the entire Maxim crew there in a flare of rockets and doomly demise. There we go. Tiger 2 out here for Talisman. Definitely seeing a lot more King Tigers and Wonders as ones, thanks to lead armoured. So, that's nice. And hopefully also seeing them being better used, since that was usually one of the reasons why the King Tiger in so many cases failed. It was because it was ill-handled. Also in some cases because, again, they just kept having their opponent a big advantage by stalling for it at rather inopportune times. Which is kind of what it feels like here with Talisman. But anyways, Tiger 2 out. And the question, of course, was the Stukas in the end worth it? I mean, he never really used it to like cause any big distractions, or he didn't even push a big attack. So, I mean, the argument could have been he'd probably be better off just going for the King Tiger and just ignoring the Stukas, maybe going for like infantry gun instead to sort of carry the entire thing. Panzer IV need repairs. The situation, I mean, this is just further delaying Talisman's big push, which means, of course, that he just got more time to just bleed him out. So the situation is looking a bit risky here for Talisman, for the German army. Stukas here, though, with 10 kills still, yeah. Not really doing a lot. Again, it has a massive cooldown, which is always one of the reasons you have to be careful about. You're just, going for them willy-nilly and just firing them blindly, because they're rather, finicky weapons with a high cooldown, which just makes them, in many cases, not really good investment. I mean, there are some players who just somehow act like bloody naturals win the King Tiger, but oh, Sniper gets spotted right in front of the King Tiger, gives away her position and gets annihilated with an 88mm high explosive shell snuffing out their life like a candle in a storm. Stukas was about to move in. King Tiger opening up. Should probably wait for the Panzer IV to back it up, maybe with a flank here. Almost got the maximum there. King Tiger taking hits for the King Tiger. But the R2 taking hits for the King Tiger down to less than half health already. Not a good engagement. Stukas was firing here. Got the penal troopers, got the Sis-3 a bit there. Now the field gun had an issue to fire as well on the way foot. Ihitto, Talisman paying his King Tiger. Had he flanked with the Panzer IV for here, maybe it's backed up some doing pilots with the mines, because I do think it had a bigger effect, because he could have flanked some elements, he could have caused confusion in Ihitto's ranks. Rather, he presented a single big target, which of course Ihitto was more than happy to aim at. And now Talisman's going to push it on. No flanking here. He knows the IS-2 there. He also knows there's at least one field gun there, and there could even be another one, which we know there is, of course, as viewers. Calling in Italy is not bad, but he should probably try calling in doing an attack. That way he can force his opponent to either, take the hit, or even force him move something else, which then goes for the priority targets. Now we got the King Tiger moving again, Panzer IV's back, we got the Ihitto moving up. This just feels like a last-ditch attempt by Talisman, but they did a very good one, since he's just barreling head on. Southern point there could be rushed by the Panzer IV maybe. Peons coming up close. We've got the King Tiger, the Veterans 1, not bad, but already taking heavy hits here from the IS-2, the field guns, and even the Peon troopers. Fixing up the Panzer IV there, 28 points left. Talisman need to do something drastic and amazing here to have a chance of winning in this match. Oh, I fear this will not result in sauerkraut and Weissbier for him, I'm afraid. Unless they serve that in hell. Panzer IV is very close, especially free. Church collapsed. King Tiger being routed in as well here. Troops moving in, getting hit there with the Maxim. Stukas of first, almost ready to fire. King Tiger moving, Panzer moving, might be trying for a flank. There you go. IS-2 down to less than half health. King Tiger is already half health, and it's getting focused down hard by all of the field guns and tank destroyers. Artillery got air support corners pretty much preventing the Talisman moving back up. And there goes South charging the Panzer IV. 18 points left for Talisman and the 1st SS. The situation is deteriorating for the German army here at a rather rapid pace. There you go. Now the Stukas, I mean, in the end, 26 kills, half H22 is, pretty good. It's just, it never really helped him as such in the engagements. So while it did damage, it didn't really push any ground. In this case, that doesn't really help him in the long run. I mean, admittedly, neither did the King Tiger. Panzer North to help defend the north, but even that's not going to help much. I mean, half H54 is pretty good here for Talisman. It's just the rest of the situation is not good at all. So with that, I think it is safe to say it's GG. Ihitto remains an immovable object, a solid wall of Stalinist steel and socialist courage, defeating the Hitlerite invader Talisman in a brutal engagement right here on Kholodny Ferma. So while Talisman, I think, had a good early game there, mid to late game rather, I think stalled a bit out. Panzer IV was a good move, but I think to an extent he suffered from trying to attack too much head-on, less flanking as the game went on, which was one issue. Then he just kept losing infantry in rather awkward manners, was not really good either. And finally, I really feel like he did not go for the Stukas, even the King Tiger. I think he should have pushed for at least one more Panzer IV. That way building up a solid armoured platoon. And then on the backbone of that, he could actually push, I think, for King Tiger more successfully. Then again, maybe in a map like this with a lot of field guns, maybe the Sturmtiger would actually been a better choice for once, and then back up with the Jagdpanzer. Like, a few options there for Talisman, but I definitely feel like the Stukas into King Tiger was a strategic misjudgment that very much allowed Ihitto to pull ahead. Ihitto there played a slower game there due to the initial game. He, I think, made the right decision to stall for the R2, though again risky, but in this case paid off thanks to Talisman then making another risky move, which actually then rewarded Ihitto for the move he made. So again, and there's that. Good flanking, good maneuvering overall compared to Talisman, that way allowing Ihitto to sort of slowly but surely gain the upper hand. So well played on both sides, but in the end, better played by Ihitto. So I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from me. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, share it with your friends, family, and all that. And of course, you like what we do, you can donate or pledge from Patreon. Links in the video description. Every donation allows me to keep making videos day after day, so do consider. This is Pro Engine. Cheers, and hope to see you all tomorrow again. Bye.